all beef patty, special sauce, butter, cheese, pickles, onions on a special cheese.
Now, I said Kentucky Fried Chicken. There's only one way to cook a burger, and that is Kentucky Fried Chicken.
I sit alone in my four-cornered room staring at candles. Oh, that shit is on? Let me drop some shit like this here. Reels.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Bottom of the Pit podcast. I am, as always, Mick Wolfie Goldberg, and with me today I have my illustrious brother,
the Banzai Wolf Burger. Oh yeah!
Banzai Wolf Burger of the food chain. Welcome to the show.
Thanks.
How you feeling?
Thank you for having me. I'm feeling great. I love the name of the podcast too.
Thank you.
I was like, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I saw your face. I was like, I made him proud. And that's all that matters.
Yeah, but definitely, I'm glad to be here.
Thank you. Thank you for coming, man. We have a lot we're going to cover today, from old games that that needs like a redo for today's environment, how anime fits into the fighting game realm, and a few other things that that may or may not be involved in fighting games, but fighting games always has their fingers in it.
Yeah, I can definitely get my 2 cents on some of these. So
yes, and I'm really looking forward to it. So before we get started on the questions, explain to me a little bit about your name.
So Banzai Wolf Burger, it's the funniest story, and you were there for it.
I was.
So you invited me to be part of the food chain, and that was great. I've been there from what has it been like? I feel like 7 years now.
Yeah, I think that's around that.
And you guys asked me to come up with a name, and immediately I knew I wanted it to be burger related because I love burgers. They're my favorite food in the world. And then one time we were just hanging out at Red Robin, and I got the Banzai Burger from there, and I almost said it. I almost said Banzai Wolf Burger, which will always be a mistake. And I love pineapple, so I bit into that burger, and I was like, yo, this is delicious. I love the Banzai Burger. And then it just clicked. I was like, Banzai Wolf Burger, that's my name! And I like that as well, just because, one, I love that burger, but two, Banzai is kind of like my play style when it comes to like outside of video games. Like if I play co-op or shooting games or anything, I'm usually one of the first people to try to run in, see what I can get myself into, shoot. Especially if I'm doing co-op with my friends, I'll run in, see what this survey the land, freaking and then relay after I get killed what I learned. So
on Overwatch. You kind of rewind all the way back to where you started.
Especially with Tracer, I'll run in, run out. It's just really like run and gun is my play style for most games like that. So it just applied to how I play games too.
Right. Yeah, I assume, like, in your head when you're running into the thick of things, like, don't worry, guys, I got this. Banzai!
Banzai! Kamikaze Banzai!
Almost in the way people yell Geronimo or things like that.
Exactly.
Just throwing your life to the wind and just screw everything else.
Definitely.
Cool, I like that. Banzai Wolf Burger. Well, I can't sit here and act surprised, like I'm just now learning what your name was.
Yeah.
But it's always good to get a refresher on where these things come from, because it's so long. It's been so long since we actually had the originator names that you kind of forget where the inspirations were.
And plus, everybody knows, well, if they don't know me, they usually get to know, but wolves are my favorite animal. So that also just took the part in right there.
Right, and it flows, Banzai Wolf Burger. It kind of rolls off. When you say it enough, you kind of forget what the actual sandwich is called, and when you see it, you might be like, there's something missing.
Yeah,
like, that's the original name.
Banzai Burger. That sounds whack.
Right? Whack as hell. 2 little letters.
Yeah.
Words, I mean. So, but you, as a person, not totally outside of food chain, you and I, we've known each other for much, much longer than that.
Yeah, I want to say it. It's been over 10 years.
Over 10 years.
Yeah.
Cleanly over 10 years. We weren't like formally introduced, but we met each other through a mutual friend, a great friend of yours, my cousin. We just kind of met at the same house, and the rest is kind of history.
Yeah, we're pretty much like cousins now.
At this point, because it was always you, and then this guy who was a previous member of the food chain, named Hot Fries, and we met. We all used to hang out, and there's one other person who's not a former member of the food chain, but we all used to hang out all the time when we were kids, and we just clicked all the time. Yeah. Then we would go to each other's family events and stuff, and anytime your dad saw me, he would let me come over. So Yeah, without question.
Yeah, which I call him Monk anyway. So.
And it was kind of weird that that's how we met, since we were in the same grade and we went to the same school.
We didn't even know about each other until like we saw each other at your first barbecue, and then one day we just walked by each other in the hall's like, oh, did not know you went to the school.
You went here?
Yeah.
And I didn't see you all this time, or I didn't notice you all this time. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And we never had all those years, and we never had a single class together.
Exactly.
And it's so weird being in the same grade in the same school.
I never had a single class with carving chicken either.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
What the hell? Anyway, that's just our history. There's no sense on like dwelling on it because it's not a very complicated history.
Yeah.
You know, we just met through a mutual friend, and we just hung out, and
We just been tight since.
and over a decade later, here we are today at this interview.
Haha.
So the one game I believe we played first, maybe not first because you had like the Dragon Ball like Budokais and stuff, but like the first game that I think you and I might have played, that's a traditional fighting game. That's got all like the bells and whistles of a fighting game. You get your health bars. It's on a semi 2D plane, even though it's like 3D. Would be Bloody Roar, the Bloody Roar series.
Bloody Roar. Oh my god. It's like an underdog series. Like I used to think it was an unappreciated series, but now I see people comment all the time like, "What y'all know about Bloody Roar?" Man, Bloody Roar was the truth.
It was the truth.
That it is.
Do you remember? This is kind of a tangent, but it's still on Bloody Roar. I think it might have been 2 years ago when Food Chain attended MagFest.
Yeah, we didn't go to MagFest last year, which was 2018. So 2017 MagFest was when I got to realize a dream through Bloody Roar. That was great.
It's because they had a Bloody Roar, was it 3?
Yeah, they had Bloody Roar 1, 2, and 3, and I went with 3 there.
And we just kind of played. We just kind of gelled on 3 for hours.
Yeah, I got to let you guys play for the first time because over the years you guys just used to hear me talk about it so much.
So it was impressive. It was impressive to see you at work and to see you kind of cream the other people that would show up and want to play with us.
Which I was not expecting. Let me tell you, like I've always felt like a good Bloody Roar player, but outside playing with like maybe 2 or 3 friends, I never got to fight that many people at the game.
Okay.
So I was one of those things like, if I get beat, at least I know how I compare to other people. But the fact that I was like downing people left and right, I was like, oh my god, I'm truly good at this game.
Like, it was nothing. It's like this is Banzai's game. Like if there ever was a game that was Banzai's game, it is Bloody Roar. And your boy, who's your main?
Freaking Yugo the Wolf.
The Wolf.
I fucking love Yugo.
And I don't think anyone like hearing your name would be like, who's your main on Bloody Roar? They would be like, if it's not Yugo the Wolf, then he's a bit of a hypocrite. Anyway.
Yeah.
Now, would you say it was Bloody Roar that turned you on to the whole wolf persona, or is there other factors outside of that?
There's like one other factor out. It's mainly Bloody Roar, but there's one other factor outside of it. And the only other factor was before I even owned Bloody Roar, I had an actual pet wolf. I know that sounds crazy.
Your pet wolf?
Yeah, I had an actual pet wolf. That's what started my wolf craze. So my grandparents had a friend who lived in Delaware, but used to travel back and forth to Arizona because he had a second house out there.
Okay.
And he brought back a litter of wolf pups, and people just thought they were huskies. But so they got through TSA and stuff because this is before 9/11 and everything else, so you could get away.
Pretty lax.
But he came back with 3 timber wolf pups, 1 coal black wolf, and 3 gray wolf pups.
That's a lot of wolves. He brought a lot of wolves home.
He brought a lot home. And my grandparents, because I lived with them at the time, got one of the gray wolf pups. And she was our pet. Her name was Murphy. And she just got away as being a husky because no one's going to expect to see a wolf in Delaware.
No one ever expects it.
But if she stood on her legs, she was at least 8 feet tall. Like, when I was a kid, I rode on her back to the park.
Holy crap.
So,
and how long did it take? Sorry if I cut you off. How long did it take for people to realize that you had a wolf and not a husky?
No one knew.
No one knows until right now that you had a wolf.
Unless we told them that dog was a wolf. That dog was a husky.
All right.
And people just used to be like, oh, look at that little boy riding on the back of his husky to the park. And I'm talking about not riding, looking at the door. Like, she stood tall. Like, she was to the size of, like, cars on the sidewalk. They just didn't think nothing of it.
They thought you had a big-ass dog?
Hell yeah.
God darn. Did it have any, like, wolf characteristics? Obviously, it's like a wolf, but you know, a wolf growing up in domestication.
Other than the size, she acted like a normal dog. The only thing is, a lot of dogs do howl when, like, fire sirens and stuff go by. But she was the one you heard in the neighborhood first, and she was the loudest.
No, was it like one of those classic wolf howls? Or did she have kind of a yelpy?
It was just it was definitely and it would like hold for at least 25 seconds each time.
Damn.
We got complaints about it.
Well, yeah, I'd imagine so. That's actually impressive. You've never once told me that story.
Have I not really?
This is my first time hearing that you owned a pet wolf.
Yeah, right in Wilmington too.
That is nuts. That is nuts. That's crazy that you had a wolf.
So yeah, I had my pet wolf, and then that was the main factor of why I love wolves, because once you have one,
right, you owned a wolf. I mean,
yeah,
goddamn.
Used to read books in them all the time, kept on and stuff. Then the wolf ran away, and I never saw her ever again.
That was almost inevitable.
Yeah.
It's a wolf. Their calling is to nature, to the woods.
So
not saying I wanted your wolf to run
yeah,
away.
but hopefully she was good at that. We never knew.
I'm sure she's fine.
We found a lot of dead animals after she left, though. So
we can assume she's doing well. She knows how to hunt, so that's good. Because that's like a problem with some domesticated like wild animals that are grown up in like a household. They don't know how to hunt when they get out there and they end up starving.
Yeah,
but it doesn't sound like Murphy had that issue.
Yeah, she was good.
Okay, so when you played Bloody Roar for the first time and you saw Hugo,
immediate first choice. Like I remember this because I got Bloody Roar 1 on the same. It was like Christmas or my birthday. I think it was my birthday. I got my PlayStation 1. So I didn't have a game system ever before that outside of a Game Boy.
Damn.
I never owned a game system. So it came. My mom got me the PS1, and it came with Micro Machines, and it came with Bloody Roar. So I played Micro Machines, blah blah, whatever. Then I played Bloody Roar, and I went to the loading screen, and the first character who popped up, because he's kind of the main character, was Hugo. Like I scrolled through all the characters, but I was like, Hugo the wolf, and it slid off my tongue so easy. I was like, Hugo the wolf, and I picked him up, and I fell in love instantly. Like the mechanics of that game are just pure love and one thing, but just him in general, I love him.
Yeah, you did show off some intense kind of combos that I didn't know were even possible in that game.
He is one fighting game character I will never forget the combos and fighting style of. Like some people have to practice like, all right, how do you do this? No. I will always his button layout is like mashed into my brain.
Well, he is Hugo's a boxer, right?
He's a kickboxer actually.
Oh, he's a kickboxer. Okay.
And most people don't know that because he mainly uses boxing. But yeah, he's a kickboxer. His just kicks suck.
Yeah,
and he fought boxing in the storyline. He fought boxing professionally. So.
Oh, okay. That's really impressive to me, and that's always something that's kind of stood out for the character of Hugo, that he was a boxer. Because usually in games like that where the character is wolf themed, and in Hugo's case he just literally turned into a wolf. Even their like human style would be wolf like animalistic. Maybe they'll do a lot of like lunging attacks, or maybe they'll have sharpened nails that are just sharp naturally and they'll slash. But he was just a closed hand kickboxer. Like
he translates his human fight style over to the wolf. Which there's extra claw moves added when you do transform, but those are the wolf's base moves. It's mostly just his regular kickboxing and stuff.
See, I like that.
And I relate more with Hugo now, just because now I'm a kickboxer and I do boxing now, so I was just like, oh man, living the dream.
You are slowly but surely becoming Black Hugo.
Oh, yes, I like that.
Black Hugo.
Black Hugo.
That sounds like the dream. So we were talking about how Bloody Roar was you would say that's like one of your first fighting games?
It would be Bloody Roar, Tekken, and probably like Virtual Fighter. Yeah, and Street Fighter, of course.
Gotcha, of course. We have Street Fighter, Tekken, and Virtual Fighter. They've all, withstood the test of time. You have your constant sequels. Street Fighter 5's out right now. Tekken 7's out. They're both thriving right now. Not so much Street Fighter 5 in comparison to Tekken 7. Virtual Fighter's kind of floundering a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's always been a quality game. But unfortunately, Bloody Roar kind of got left in like 3 generations ago almost.
It fell out after Bloody Roar 4 and Primal Fury for the GameCube.
And now would you say Bloody Roar 4 is better than Bloody Roar 3?
In my personal opinion, I love Bloody Roar 4. Like, even when I was playing at MacFest, I loved playing 3, but Bloody Roar 4, it was pretty much like 3, but on crack. They smoothed over what they needed.
3 on crack.
Yeah, they just smoothed over what they needed to smooth over and added more beast drives and more characters, and it was just great. And then they had the option of career mode, which Career mode basically was you just did like all these fights and stuff, and you could like add on points and buy different moves and stuff, and enhance your character. And my Yugo on career mode is probably the most broken fighting game character in the history of history. Like, he's on some dumb shit.
Yeah, I've heard stories, mostly from you, about how broken Yugo is, but I personally have not had the pleasure of getting dominated by your career mode Yugo.
If I ever get another copy of 4, I'll show it to you because we still have a PS2 at my house, but let's just say his human mode is almost better than his wolf form.
Oh my god, why even turn to the wolf?
Yeah, and then on survival mode, easily you can go to 20 matches straight without worrying about if you're going to lose or not.
Oh, before the computer like steps up and, and starts to fight back?
Because my character will be all over them and destroy their health like instantly.
Well, there's one thing I noticed from Bloody Roar 4 compared to 3, and especially like 2 and 1, is that it's a lot more kinetic. There's so much more energy to the way the characters move, to the pace of the fight. You know, the health seems a little bit smaller, but you have your beast drive is like a second health bar.
Pretty much.
When you run out of normal health, you're forced into your beast mode, and then you got your beast health, right?
Yeah,
if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, you're remembering everything, and then you could sacrifice on. I can't remember if it was 4 and 3. I think it was mostly 4. You could sacrifice your human health to charge up the beast gauge to go into hyper beast mode.
Oh my goodness.
Which was you transfer into the beast, and you could just pretty much do infinite beast drives, which are their special moves on that game, until the time limit went out.
Oh, okay.
But then if you use that mode and it ran out, you can use your beast form for the rest of the set. Not the rest of the round, the rest of the set.
Oh my goodness. So once you did that, it was like one and done. You better kill your opponent or it's game over.
Yeah, you either better kill your opponent or you better be really good with just human form.
Well, it sounds like you were pretty good with human Yugo, so it doesn't seem like it was that big of a risk for you.
Yeah.
Because you're going to win either way.
But you had to run in with the negative effects of hyper beast mode because the old associate we used to talk about, Hot Fries, used to do the hyper beast mode with Nagi.
Oh, Nagi.
And that was pretty much just an instant cheat with her beast mode because you just ran around your body and just did an automatic slice that you couldn't evade.
Yep, it was totally unblockable, totally unavoidable.
She just kept hounding you until she hit you. So.
And then until you died. So that was that. Yeah, I didn't like Nagi. I think that game has a bit of a balancing problem.
Yeah, it's because it's so old. It's so old, and it just it would definitely it would have stood the test of time if it like kept getting worked on. I know that for a fact. Like I know they could bring back Bloody Roar if they wanted to.
Right. Well, that leads perfectly into our next question about Bloody Roar. Scenario: they bring back Bloody Roar, right? They announced Bloody Roar 5, right? Brand new Bloody Roar 5.
Nut.
Yeah. And besides the instant nut. But there's no footage, just like we finally have the IP secured for Bloody Roar 5 and we are doing Bloody Roar 5. What do you look for in that game?
First of all, I'm going to see who made it.
Right.
Like
let's assume it's like your dream company. The company you want to have their hands on Bloody Roar.
See, honestly, my dream company isn't who I like playing their games the most out of lately. But I know they will do a good job with, and that's Capcom.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Street Fighter V, I hate the mechanics of it, but it's a smooth playing fighting game. And I've been watching Samurai Showdown lately, and after seeing how Samurai Showdown is, I think Bloody Roar would be perfect under that format.
Well, that's SNK.
Is that SNK?
Yeah.
Capcom's not working on that game? Then SNK. Then the way they did Samurai Showdown, they even got blood on that game. I was like, it's a very good format, and I will choose that for the new Bloody Roar instantly.
So you would be in favor of Bloody Roar 5, this hypothetical Bloody Roar 5 produced and created by SNK. You'll be okay with it being a straight up 2D fighter?
It would be hard, but I could see it. It will work. Because that's how a lot of games are now. They're 3D but 2D at the same time.
Yeah, kind of like Guilty Gear.
Now, if they could work it to make a 3D game, and then I think some people should branch out and start doing that. Like, do your own version of a 3D game.
Yeah.
So if they could do that, that would be awesome. But they just kept it with the 2D, 3D style. I could rock with it.
As long as it has the style, right?
Yeah.
It's like you know how Guilty Gear and Samurai Showdown, they have like a particular aesthetic to them.
Yeah.
That kind of lends to that 2D, what's it called? 2.5D, I think is what it's called. I think it would lend pretty well to Bloody
And
Roar.
honestly, I would have to play the note. It might improve it because the way fighting games are now, the old Bloody Roar might not work out. To sidestep on Bloody Roar, you had to use R2 and L2.
Yeah, and that's weird. And it kind of just did like a little shuffle.
Yeah, it did a shuffle. So no one's going to use R2 and L2 to shuffle to sidestep on games. Now you're going to do jump. You're going to do up and down.
Yeah, like down, up, up.
Yeah, so
Stuff like that.
but outside of the SNK, the only other people I could see working on Bloody Roar is the people who do Tekken.
Oh, Namco?
Yeah.
Bandai Namco, I guess
Yeah.
they are now.
They would be 3D wise. They would be the perfect people to do it. Like especially how they've been doing Tekken 7. We got like crazy off the wall characters like Negan and freaking Noctis from Final Fantasy. Which we hate Noctis being in Tekken, but to bring a Final Fantasy character and see how he fights the way he does, it's pretty impressive.
Right, and he translated very jarring and out of place, but he translated well.
He translates well.
You know, he turned into a fighting game character, and it worked.
Yeah,
to a degree.
So for a 3D fighting game, yes, Tekken, Namco, do it. But 2D, 3D, damn, SNK would kill it.
They would, and they have a pretty good track record too.
Yeah, and plus the way the animation looks on SNK games, they would give this game so much freaking justice.
Yeah, when they don't take shortcuts, they produce some of the best looking art around. You know, the way KOF 13 looked. Me and Pecan Swirl, we gushed over a little bit ago how great those sprites were. And Samurai Showdown looks fantastic.
Yeah, and plus they always got Arxis backing them up, and Arxis
Oh,
hasn't done. And they could do 3D because that new Kill la Kill anime game, Arxis is working on that, and that's 3D.
I heard that plays kind of like Pokken Tournament.
Yeah, almost a little bit. Like it's like their own version of it. It's really interesting when you watch it.
Okay.
So they have the potential to do whatever they want with it if they were to do it. And the Jamaican Sheikh, he looked it up. The rights for Bloody Roar can be claimed. Someone would just have to be like, yeah, let's buy it and do it.
Right, let's buy it and it produces new Bloody Roar experience.
Exactly. So.
And I feel like it would go over well. Kind of like the way there all this great boost in popularity when they announced like Killer Instinct 3. That game's been out of commission for 15 years before that. And now, you know, KI3 was announced. This was many years ago. This was like 5 years ago. But, you know, it reinvigorated a whole lot of people's inner emotions.
Yeah.
And maybe have gotten them back into fighting games when maybe they were falling back. Or it tapped into like their inner child.
Yeah, exactly. And here's the thing about KI. It's old now, and it's a hard fighting game to play. Like, you have to be, like, practicing on that game. And it's older now, but in my opinion, it still has, like, some of the best fighting game graphics out there right now.
The particles are fantastic.
It's beautiful of a game, so, yeah. You could definitely bring these games back and just, like, overtop the crowds. I'm getting so excited to talk about this. My legs are shaking. I didn't even notice.
So aside from the usual suspects like your Yugo the wolves, your Alice the rabbits, your Long the tigers. Let's say name 3 more characters that should be definite staples.
Oh, in the next Bloody Roar?
In this hypothetical SNK made Bloody Roar.
All right, so you definitely gotta put Gato in.
Gato, okay, Gato the Lion.
Gato the Lion, he's like almost like a mentor to Yugo. Plus, you have to have a lion. If you're gonna have a wolf character and a tiger character, you gotta have a lion character.
Right, in an animal themed fighting game.
And they made him a balls character, so you have to have him.
Okay.
You'll like this because he's your favorite character. I think they have to add Stun back in.
Stun?
Yeah, he's like the only grappler character unless they added Greg the Gorilla from the original one back in.
Which is something I don't think people would be opposed to.
Yeah, I think people.
I think
people see a gorilla. They'll be like, yeah, we can name him Harambe or some shit like that. But yeah, definitely add Stun back in because fighting. If you were to reinvigorate games like this, you have to have at least one grappler character.
Yeah, you can't have a fighting game without grapplers. In my opinion, like a grappler's got to be somewhere in the mix.
And then Bakuryu the mole.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
Bakuryu. He's a crowd favorite.
Yeah, somehow that totally slipped my mind.
Yeah, so Gato and Bakuryu would definitely have to be in it.
Okay.
I said Stun. You wouldn't have to put Shenlong in because he's a clone character. Just people love him. I guess I would say Xion.
Xion, the leopard?
No,
Xion.
Sheena.
Oh, that's Sheena.
That's
right.
his daughter. Xion, the unborn. Yeah. Just to have your antagonist character, you have to add him in.
Right. Now, what character? Like, you just have to name one. Totally leave them off. Totally don't even think about this character.
Mm-hmm.
Don't bring him back. No one likes him. Which one do you think that would be?
I feel bad because the first person I thought about was Uranus the Chimera.
Oh, shit.
Because she's always like a secret boss character. You really don't need her in a game. You just want her just because she's a giant chimera.
Yeah.
And two, she's just kind of OP if you know how to use her right.
She always did seem a little good.
Yeah. They gave her a perfect balance where her normal moves transform her out of her beast mode. So that balanced out. But a secret boss character who they have to balance out like that, I feel like you could do away with.
Yeah. Now, if they were to bring in like a new boss, right? A new big bad boss, what animal do you think they should be to kind of represent that that archetype? Because now they can, with this new technology, can bring a lot more things to life.
That's a hard question, honestly, because Four and Primal Fury, they did some off the wall shit where Four, the main boss character, was a fucking dragon. And I was like, how in the hell?
Now, my issue with that character, sorry to cut you off, was that he was a literal dragon.
He was a literal dragon.
A literal dragon.
Who did not take damage. Yeah. Like, he wasn't phased unless you literally beat the crap out of him for a whole moment and wasted his beast gauge.
Like, as what they should have done, and this is what I thought as soon as I saw the big giant dragon, was, why isn't he a dragon person? Why is he not an anthropomorphic dragon? Why is he a literal dragon?
Because they made it where, like, it was a dragon who got sealed into that person. It was bad storyline for them because there was two of that character. It was him where he had the little girl who transformed into a fox, and that was his regular fighting style. Then the second version of him was him turning into the dragon. Okay. So it was a very like weird spin-off.
Gotcha.
So there was that, and then Primal Fury had the boss character who his beast form was a penguin. But his beast form was a penguin. But if you went hyper beast mode, he was a standing phoenix.
He was a phoenix,
which goes to what you were just saying, because he wasn't a giant phoenix, he was a phoenix-like person,
an anthropomorphic phoenix. And it's funny that I forgot about him because, what was his name?
I don't remember his name because I never owned Primal Fury.
Oh, okay. It's funny because that is in our youth.
Yeah.
That was the Jamaican Shake's main. Why can't I think of what his name is? Because it was like his name, and then they said it was I'm calling Bird Person. It was like Bird Person, the Phoenix, right? Mm-hmm. But his normal beast drive was, as you said,
the penguin. So you're like, why is he called the Phoenix? But a lot of people wrote that off as the same thing they did with Yuriko, because she was the half beast, but she was a cat.
Just for sure a cat. Yeah.
Yeah, but. Incidentally, she was a boss character on Bloody Roar 1, and she was a chimera. She was pretty much on Uranus,
right?
But they called her Yuriko.
The story of Bloody Roar eludes me.
Yeah,
I won't even lie. I'm not fully certain of what how everything leads into everyone. I always thought the name was cool, a zoanthrope. I always thought that was really dope. People that could turn into animals. Etymology is the thing for names. And it makes sense, it's zoo and anthrop to turn into, I think is what that means.
Yeah.
And I always thought that was cool, but that is the extent of what I know about the story of Bloody Roar.
It's really arcade driven, so each character gets their own story and that's it. There's not like a giant story until the main consistent story was 3 and 4 where they added in like the beast marks onto them, which I have Yugo's tattooed on me. That's part of my FC symbol. And pretty much it was like it introduced hyper beast mode. That's pretty much all it did. And it was like it meant like if it appeared on you, the character was going to die.
Oh.
That's pretty much it. But outside of that, it really didn't have like a stable consistency between everybody other than their own self-driven arcade storyline.
Okay. Now, thinking about that, how the story is kind of all over the place and very unclear. You think they could do with like a reboot?
Oh,
like the next one would be Bloody Roar, just Bloody Roar. Just a new reboot.
I would love that, as long as they kept some of the people's stories the same. Like because then like Yugo and Bakuryu's, they're like Yugo adopts him, makes him his little brother and stuff. So if they kept stuff like that, I would also love that because Bloody Roar 1 was confusing because Bloody Roar 1's the future. and all the other games are prequels. So you have Old Man Bakuryu and all these other characters. But then the next series, everybody's technically younger, but there's no character connection and stuff. So it was weird how they did that.
Wait, Bloody Roar 2 is
Bloody Roar 1
is a
is pretty much the future because it has old Bakuryu.
the future of the whole game.
Pretty much, yeah.
What? That's so weird.
Yeah, because Bloody Roar 4, they brought back Kokoryu. They brought in Kokoryu, who's like the Iron Mode, but he looked the way Bakuryu looks in the first game. It was really weird how they did this.
That's so weird. I think the Iron Mole was in Primal Fury.
Yeah, Primal Fury is pretty much Bloody Roar 4, but for the GameCube.
For the GameCube. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think it could do well for
it would
as
do,
a reboot.
It would do great with a reboot.
Maybe a story mode that's clear. I'm not saying it's got to be full cinematic like NetherRealms, but it could be something.
Yeah, I mean Dead or Alive can pull it off, so I'm pretty sure Bloody Roar could.
Yeah, probably could. Because there's a lot to unpack there.
Yeah.
With all these characters and everyone's relationship with each other, and the fact that not a whole lot of people know like the characters' backstories anyway, they can take some liberties without pissing a whole lot of people off.
Yeah.
Like maybe you would be a little pissed if they took away like the relationship between Yugo and Bakuryu.
Yeah,
like,
I'd be a little
maybe
upset,
just
but
friends and not like adopted brothers and stuff, or
Yeah.
or the one I always liked was the relationship between Busuzima and Stun.
Stun, yeah.
I always thought that was very, very crazy. And I really like that, how Busuzima is a scientist who turns to a chameleon, who, the experiments on Stun, who turns to an insect, but now he looks all crazy.
yeah,
So he kind of looks like he's always an insect form almost.
like a mummified insect. Yeah.
Yeah, mummified pro wrestling insect. Don't forget that.
Which is funny about Stun because I didn't realize how good of a grappler character he was until the one time you picked him up and used him against me and got the feel for. I was like, did not know Stun could do half this shit because the computer does not use him like this.
Well, the computer, just in all fighting games I know, they're very bad with grapplers. They do not use the moves they should be.
Unless
That's just me, though.
Unless you're playing like freaking Mortal Kombat or something where the AI goes off the chain.
Yeah, that's kind of true. Sometimes when when the computer decides it wants to beat you, it's going to beat you.
It's going to beat you, yeah.
It's like, all right, fight's over, you lose. You'll never hit me again. And the thing I noticed was, I don't know if this is for Bloody Roar 2. It's still a little hazy for me. But the Bloody Roar series, the endings were always like animated. They had like the whole anime cutscenes.
Yeah,
and things like that.
Yeah, they would do like still pictures and you would read through those, and then some of them would have like quick cutscenes, but they would be really quick.
Really quick?
Yeah.
Okay,
but just the still pictures were good too.
Would you want like just fully drawn animation for kind of like a, how do I say? Kind of like how I guess Guilty Gear is, where they look like they're drawn,
like
but they're actually 3D models.
Yeah, like Guilty Gear and Blaze Blue does it a little bit too, but yeah, I wouldn't mind. It doesn't have to be like interactive like me watching it.
Okay.
I could do either or, like have it where they show the character and then you just scroll through the read, or you could do it like, because Guilty Gear did an amazing job on how they did their story mode. It was like watching a movie.
Yeah, it was.
Like it blew my mind away. So, but in Blade War's case, you could do either or.
Okay, and I like the way you brought up Guilty Gear, because the way Guilty Gear did its arcades was everyone's arcade was a prequel to the main story.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just like some weird offshoot, kind of how like NetherRealm does, where you have your main story where there's a beginning, middle, and end, and then everyone's arcade is like kind of like a offshoot of that story.
Yeah.
Where, what if this character won, or if that character
Yeah,
won?
pretty much.
You think that's how you'd want the story mode to be in that game?
Yeah, I could see it definitely doing that.
Okay. Well, that's always interesting.
Yeah. I would love to see what direction, if someone were to redo it, what direction they went with.
Yeah. Just the way they design it, which characters they choose, how they balance out the human to animals.
Oh my god, that would be so great.
Because there are some characters in that game whose animal modes are way better than their human modes.
Oh, yeah.
And how some characters whose human modes are better than their animals.
Yeah, honestly.
And I feel like that would be a great source of balance and discussions, like, whose animal mode
Especially
is better.
since Blade Roar is unique, but so many games are starting to get acquired to using that double health gauge now, like Killer Instinct and games like that, where you have 2 health gauges.
Yeah.
It's possible now. You can definitely do it. It's just the only difference is Blade Roar is a switch between the gauges.
Yeah, they could do something like that, where the animal form has its own health bar.
Yeah,
or,
so
or something like
they
that.
could they could yeah. Oh my god, there's so many possibilities with this game.
Yeah, we're kind of rambling at this
God,
point.
I'm drooling at the mouth.
It's very
God.
exciting. So perhaps before you drool all over the table, we should move on to the next topic at hand.
All right, I'm with it.
Okay, because he's salivating. The one thing I would, if someone were to tell me, "Hey, McWhoopi, describe Banzai Wolf Burger," I'd be like, "He's dope as all hell, and he loves anime."
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like you're like the biggest anime lover or otaku. I don't know if that's like a derogatory term or whatever.
It's what it is. But yeah, love anime. It's pretty much my life at this point.
Yeah, you're always watching, you're always posting stuff. Oh, this anime was great, this one's that. And on the Food Chain channel, you have quite a few trailer reactions to new animes coming out.
Yeah, I'm trying to do trailer reactions. I'm trying to make my own reaction show to anime.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
You have a couple episodes of that out.
Yeah, I have one of that so far, and that was like the what I'll say, the practice run.
Gotcha.
Before I get things in motion.
It's good. Because anime is kind of taking over the world now.
Yeah, within like the last 4 years, it's definitely more mainstream now, compared to like back in my school days. It was like fucking weirdo watching that stupid Japanese porn shit. I'm like, you guys are weird. Well, Naruto running down the hallways in peace and fuck you.
Right? Get Naruto run away from your problems.
Yeah, now if you see someone Naruto run, everybody's like, hey!
Or that Naruto run with you.
Yeah, exactly.
It's gotten to that point where it's kind of, I don't want to say it's cool to like anime because, not saying it's uncool, but no one's...
It's definitely, it's more accepted now.
Yeah.
And that's definitely gets brought up in the anime community a lot now that within like the last 4 or 5 years, it's definitely become more mainstream, more accepted now.
And that's good. That's that's great that now you can enjoy this kind of out in the open. You don't have to go home and like look out your windows, pull down your blinds so you can turn on Dragon Ball Z or Yu Yu Hakusho or something.
And now you don't have to like go on illegal websites just to watch anime. Like if you didn't have Toonami, you were just using illegal sites that were probably going to give you a virus just to watch these animes.
Right, they would give you a virus. They were like fan dubbed.
Yeah.
So you didn't even know if what they were saying was true.
Yeah, and it was horrible.
And so you had a lot of sketchy methods to watch stuff, but now
we got Crunchyroll.
Not the case.
Yeah, we got Crunchyroll and Funimation now, which I prefer using those over top of like sites like Kiss Anime and stuff because it pumps money into the anime community in America, which helps us get more anime, more opportunity for it down here in the States, which we definitely need more of.
Right, the more anime, the better. The more variety.
Yeah.
The better.
Other than live action, stop it.
Other than live action, stop doing live action. Just stop it. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
No one's asking for it.
Yeah.
Like who's going saying I want a live action version of this, that, and the other? No one in their right minds.
Unless they do good with the Space Cowboy Bebop one, that's going to be the game changer.
They could do that, but they have to go all out.
Yeah.
They can't take these dumbass shortcuts, and they gotta get a good cast.
Yeah.
Because Spike Spiegel, he doesn't have to be Asian, so they don't have to put a weird wig on somebody.
But at least make sure they know martial arts.
Of course, yeah.
Don't make them look lame. We go on and on about that, though.
Yeah, we can go on and on. But I bring up anime. For a reason, and this is a gripe I've always had. Anyone who like knows me, this is something that always bothers me when it comes to anime and their relationship to fighting games.
Mm-hmm.
We have a few good anime fighting games. Dragon Ball Z Fighters is the newest one.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one, it's the most famous one. It's been in Evo, it's all over the world.
Yeah.
And you just told me right before we started recording, like 10 minutes before we started recording, about the Yu Yu Hakusho game, about the Dark Tournament. That's a traditional fighter, and that's really good. And there's a few other ones. There's that JoJo's Bizarre Adventure game that was pretty good.
That was pretty good.
It was decent. Yeah. It had some kinks, but whatever. It was fun. And there's a few other examples that I'm probably not thinking of right now.
I can tell what the main one you're thinking about is.
What was that?
It looks like you're all, because everything bases off of one of the main fighting anime games. The Naruto ones?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right, the Naruto ones. But I played a lot of the Naruto ones.
Yeah. Great. They do a great job with their fighting games.
Yeah, those fighting games are good, but they're not traditional fighting games. And this is where my gripe comes in, where anime games, they tend to get lumped into what's technically called an arena fighter.
Mm-hmm.
It's an arena fighter. They put you in an arena, you run around, you do moves, you throw moves at each other.
Exactly.
And that's fine, right? That's fine for what it is. It's an arena fighting game.
Mm-hmm.
But my question to you is, why is it about 95% of the time when an anime is adapted into a fighting game, it is in this arena fighting format, this what I call the Naruto Ninja Storm format?
Yeah.
Why do you think that's how they decide that's how they're going to do it?
Honestly, I have to blame CyberConnect for it, and CyberConnect is the people who did the Naruto Ninja Storm games, because there's other arena games that definitely came out before Naruto, like you said, JoJo was out before, and then we also had games like...
Sorry to cut you off. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure had a fighting game that was fantastic by Capcom.
Yes.
But go on, I'm sorry.
We had the JoJo game, then we had like games like J-Star and stuff, so we had those games. But I feel like CyberConnect really cracked the code on arena fighting style games, and it was like, damn, that flowed perfectly for this anime fighting game. And I feel like now everybody wants that same level of cracking the code because they feel like that works the best. And I feel like because not everybody wants an anime game to be 2D. You want that full inversion of becoming that character, using them, being part of the story, that you want that 3D mode. So it's like the arena battle works the best for that.
You say it works the best for conveying, like, kind of how that character would move.
Yeah, how the character would move, how that character would fight, using their moves. You get to see all the animation. Like for instance, when you see Naruto use a Rasengan, you're going to want to see that on Ninja Storm versus just like the original 2D fighting Naruto games. You want to be able to see the full arena. You want to see how it's going to explode, everything like that. It just gives you a different perspective than a standard 2D fighting game. Okay,
kind of, and that's why they would kind of put it in an arena, especially in games with characters like Naruto. They're ninjas. They're very mobile.
Exactly.
Right? They wouldn't really confine themselves to a 1v1 plane like that.
Yeah.
Most of the time, they're not fighting 1v1 anyway.
Yeah, but then for games like Naruto, it works with 1v1s for N team. Whereas as far as other anime games, sometimes it's not going to work every time, and I can understand where you get your gripe from, because even like button layout, it feels like they're just copy and pasting from Ninja Storm.
Yeah, it all feels like it's just kind of all the same games, but with different skins.
Yeah, exactly. Like even in the case of most recently Jump Force, like it's different from Ninja Storm, but you still have that similarity.
Yeah, it's kind of the same.
It's kind of the same, and I think it's just because it's what works best. I think our arena style game is just what works best for anime fighting games. Now,
do you think there's kind of an outcry for another anime series, none in real particular what I'm talking about, to be turned into a fighter akin to Dragon Ball Z fighters that's handcrafted, not super technical, but made from the ground up as a fighting game as opposed to an arena fighter?
There's so many choices that you could do that with, so it's hard to choose just one. And we never know what Japan's working on. Like, there's a ton of Japanese games that we know nothing about that are doing great. Like, I remember I went to a con one time, and there's like straight up like 2D fighting anime games with different anime characters from different animes. I was like, what is this?
Oh yeah, there is that.
And then you have like the Mobile Suit Gundam games where you get into a cockpit and you're playing a shooter game against another Gundam.
There was a fighting game with Gundams too.
Yeah, and it's just completely 3D immersive. You can fly anywhere. You have to use your targeting system to find your opponent and stuff.
Okay.
Like, but as far as like a fighting game, it's so hard. Like off the top of my head, the first things that come off to my mind is like, I wouldn't mind seeing like a Fairy Tail fighting game, or I remember back in the day I wanted a Inuyasha fighting game or something like that.
That'd be pretty cool. I think what the reason why there's always a bit of at least in the fighting game community that I follow, right? That's the one I'm a part of. Maybe the anime community feels different, but as far as the fighting game community, whenever we see like an announcement of a game, of an anime being turned into a fighter, there's always that spark of excitement.
Yes.
It's like, say I don't watch Fairy Tail, but say Fairy Tail turned into a fighting game. It's like, oh, a Fairy Tail fighting game. We got our Natsus. We got our... I shouldn't have started this list. That's all I know.
Gray, Urza.
Yeah. But we have our favorite characters, and our gears start to turn. Oh, how what moves are they going to have? How are they going to adapt it? Is it going to be a 3D fighter, a 2D fighter? What company's got the reins on it? How's it gonna play?
Yeah, honestly.
Who's gonna be the best? What character's gonna choose? What kind of music and stages? And then there's always it's an arena fighter.
Yeah.
At the end, and it kind of comes crashing down because now you know what the game is. You have it totally pictured in your head, and that's always what comes out.
It really depends on the game, like, it really depends on like how the playstyle of the game is, because anime games that aren't 2D are usually fast-paced games. So let's say like the Naruto game wasn't arena style.
Okay.
Think of it more of like a kind of 3D-ish game like Virtual Fighter was.
Okay.
Could you imagine how awkward and stiff that would feel at some point because of how fast-paced anime games are compared to like Virtual Fighter and Tekken? It would feel a little weird.
Okay, you do pose an interesting point.
So I think the arena-style games are just support the fast-paced, over-the-top special moves of anime-style games, because animes are fucking...
They can be over-the-top sometimes.
They're over-the-top, OP moves whatsoever. You need a style that supports that, and I guess arena-style games out and 2D ones just support it the best.
Right. I suppose, I guess what you're getting at is the traditional fighting game system just is too constraining for...
Yeah.
To hold the entire scope of the anime in question,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Dragon Ball Z or Fairy Tail. But then it brings into question games, and this is like the one I really want, as far as modern anime goes. I wanted to see the My Hero Academia franchise turned into a traditional fighting game, because I feel like that is a small enough scope to turn it into a refined fighting game.
Yeah.
And there's a broad enough play style they could make out of it.
And that's the crazy part, because the My Hero is a perfect example, because they didn't go the like the textbook arena style.
Yeah,
They
you're
did. They
right.
made it their own in a way, and I will give them that. But it's still like stiff and wonky on some ways, and they just, there's something there that they just need to fix. I can't even explain what it needs, but it just needs something. But for what it's worth, it's a good game.
Yeah, and I've gone on record in saying I think the My Hero Arena Fighter is the best arena fighter. Like, out of the ones that come out recently.
Yeah.
Every Ninja Storms, I feel like that's a different time. The ones that have, the slew that we've gotten, I feel like that's the one that's done it the best. Because, like you said, they did something different. They did something. And it is missing something.
It's just missing something. I can't even put my words on it, but it's missing something. I know what it is.
You know what it's missing?
What is it missing?
An English dub.
Oh my god, I didn't
Boy.
get an English dub. I hate that so much.
That's what it's missing.
Which is why we need to keep supporting the anime community so we can get that.
So we can get the My Hero One's Justice 2
Oh my god.
anime dubbed. English dubbed.
That would be amazing. And thinking about that, it kind of brings me back of when you was just when you first brought up this question of like, what's the first thing that comes to your mind when you see like the release for these anime games and stuff like that? And it's funny enough, it's the graphics itself for the game is why I usually judge the hardest on the game. Even before I see gameplay. Like when I saw the My Hero game, I judged it first because it looked ugly at first. It looked very stiff. It looked ugly. Recently, like you and me were talking about, like 1 or 2 days ago, they released that they're coming out with the One Punch Man game.
That's right.
And off of animation alone, I'm like, ill. Like, it looks like it should be a PS2 game.
It looks kind of muddy.
Yeah, and based off the My Hero game, because they improved that. Like, My Hero looked so stiff at first, but as they kept working on it, it got better. So if they can do that at One Punch Man, I can get more excited for that. But just for right now, I'm just like, I don't even want to think about that game right now.
Well, I think my issue with the One Punch Man, and I think this might, maybe stem for you too and many others, is it's just another run-of-the-mill thing. So we've seen it, like from the gameplay, we've seen this before. We've seen this many times.
And I think that's the problem with anime games in general. It feels like they're just too basic.
Basic, yeah. There's no depth to them.
Like the My Hero game, they did a good job. Jump Force had any anime game that's come out within like the last 4 years, let's say. Jump Force had the most potential to like break that mold. But it failed.
It failed.
It failed horribly.
Heavily.
I can't even go into that. Like
that's for another time.
Because as far as right now, the only other game that breaks the mold for anime games outside of the Naruto games are the Dragon Ball Z, Tenkaichi Budokai Xenoverse games.
Oh yeah.
They did a great job. especially with Xenoverse. That is not an arena game. That is a free roam around, fight your opponent, anime fighting game.
Right.
And you can create characters. They broke the code when they did that. So that's why anytime, regardless if you're an anime nerd or not, if you see a Dragon Ball Z game get announced, you're going to get automatically excited. I don't even need to see the graphics or anything. The second they announced Dragon Ball Z, I'm like, yeah, let's see what you guys are about to bring.
It's because they have a pretty good track record. Like
They do.
Dragon Ball Z,
And
the Tenkaichi games too.
I can't think of a Dragon Ball Z game I've hated or been like, oh, that's stupid.
Right, they've either been average, maybe below average, or great.
It's either they just been their same level of stuff that they've always done, or they've stepped up the game one step further. It's always that for the Dragon Ball Z games. I can't include the One Piece games or nothing like that because, again, they took from the Naruto games.
Right, it's just like Ninja Storm, but with Luffy.
Yeah, it's CyberConnect who does them too, so yeah, they just took off Naruto through Luffy.
Which is also disappointing, because you know me, I don't like One Piece.
Mm-hmm.
I actively don't like One Piece. But One Piece would lend itself to like a traditional fighter because unlike Dragon Ball is traditional fighter, but unlike say like Fairy Tail or Naruto, it is relatively small scale. Mm-hmm. You have some characters that are good with the kicks, like
Sanji.
Like Sanji, you have your Luffy who does like the stretch punches, but he has other stuff.
Yeah.
No one's doing like world-ending attacks. No one's like a Genjutsu master, so it's kind of hard to put their power into like a traditional fighting game.
Yeah.
Everyone's like pretty. I don't want to call them straightforward. They have depth to like their powers and characters.
Yeah.
That's why I think I'm starting to feel like when I saw the One Piece game.
Yeah.
I'm starting to feel like they're doing these arena fighters because it's easy.
I mean, you're absolutely right. It's not even the fact that it's not just only easy. It's just for right now, it's the best option for the anime games.
The best option.
Until they can break the mold and find something else that works better. Like, Jump Force had the potential to be that, but it just failed. Like, we was hoping it would be a better J-Star. Arena game that just blew our minds we could play for hours, but it just kept that same arena style, and they got lazy with the characters and the rest of the game. Now, we might see something different, because now that we got the Dragon Ball Z Kakarot game coming out, we don't know too much about that game. That could break the mold once again, right. But until we have that, you have to fall in that arena. It's either do a 2D fighting game or do the arena style.
Or do the arena style.
Mm-hmm.
My prediction is, if this Dragon Ball Z Kakarot like RPG adventure game does well, if it's super dope, if it's amazing, like the best Dragon Ball Z game since Fighters or whatever, I feel like then we won't see as many arena fighters because they won't be focused on putting those characters into like fighting. They'll want to make the RPG adventure games, because I feel like they put these characters in like arena fighters and stuff like that because they want to like show off like the characters. Like this is what the characters would look like in a fight with each other.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the only it's the only way we get anime fighting games, really, because
honestly,
what are the other animes that are coming out with just games in general?
I can't think about it. It's Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, of course. One Piece is probably going to get another one, but other than that, just... And then there's the Kill la Kill game that I mentioned earlier.
Oh yeah, there is a Kill la Kill. We haven't even talked on that.
And it's still in development, but Arxis is taking the wheel behind that, and they're usually a traditional 2D style game, but there's like 3D in that game, so maybe Arxis will be the people who break the mold and come out with like a new way for us to play and stuff.
That would make my day.
Exactly.
And you know me, I don't know Kill la Kill. But if that ended up being the game that set these anime games on track to being like, if that's the format, like this semi 2D 3D Pokken type of format, and that's the optimal way to do these fighting games, and it works, and it's balanced. It's got balance. It's got technical stuff. It has like depth. You can dig into it. You can be good. It's not random. And like that's how it is, and it works, and we can have a lot of fun. Like you and I going back and forth, and we don't get mad because this random thing happened, or oh, that's weird, and why does that?
Yeah.
Then I'm on board with it.
Yeah.
Because the thing that upsets me is that there's so much potential with even animes I don't know. I just see them, I hear you talk about them. I'm like, that would make for a great fighting game, and here's how it could be done. And then they make it as an arena fighter. But if this Kill la Kill game you're talking about is good, on this other hand is like really good and is really balanced and fun and great and all that, then I feel like that could put it on the right track. I don't know what you think.
I think it could, because let's take for example, like me and Jamaican Shake been watching like the trails for the game. Jamaican Shake just started getting to Kill la Kill. Like he watched the whole series, likes it and stuff now.
Okay.
But even he said he would play this game, which is surprising because he doesn't like the show enough to like oh man, I can't wait to buy this game. But because how interesting it looks, and the story mode itself is from the point of view of the villain rather than going through the main character, it's an interesting style. It's different, like stuff like that. It like we were saying, it breaks the mode. It makes you want to at least try to see what it's like. So yeah, if we can just get people to keep doing that, I can see what the future being bright for anime games.
I hope so, because there's so many great stories
that
they can adapt into single-player games, multiplayer games, all kinds of games. And the fact that we're not tapping into it yet because we don't, I guess, know how to, it's kind of a travesty. Yeah. Especially when in the past, we have all kinds of anime games that were in all kinds of different formats.
Yeah.
Like, we can just do it now. We got better technology.
And maybe we start coming out with just not only fighting games for anime games. Like, if I was supposed to pitch something to you, like, you watched the show Terraformers, right?
Yeah.
With the bugs and stuff.
Yeah.
Imagine, like, a Resident Evil style game, but based around Terraformers. Like, you run around, you're shooting the bugs, stuff like that, collecting items, blah, blah, blah. Would you play that?
I would play the hell out
of
that.
See, like, there's potential for anime games to come out more. It's just, for right now, everybody just focuses on the fighting games.
Right.
And it's just because most liked animes are, like, the fighting match from Dragon Ball Z style anyway, so I can see where that's coming from.
That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense, actually. That makes too much sense for it to be okay. But on the other hand, what series would you want to see adapted
into a fighting game?
At first, it was into a fighting game, but now I just want to hear your opinion on just into any game. But if you want to stick to the fighting game, because that's the question I sent you.
Yeah, let me think of something that hasn't been done. Because I will say, it's going into the mode again. The worst part about anime games, if they're not fighting games, they're the hack and slash games like Genji. And sometimes that does not translate well to everything.
No,
like I remember they did the Black Clover game, and that looked absolutely shitty. They did the 7 Deadly Sins game.
Yeah, that wasn't good either.
Actually, I would love a good 7 Deadly Sins game. That would be amazing to play. Because they're just such lovable characters, and they would have like such different abilities and stuff to use. That would be great as a player versus player fighting game.
Like a single player?
Yeah, single player, like a adventure mode game.
Co-op maybe?
Yeah, oh my god. If you could have a 7 Deadly Sins game, and then you could pick each character and have up to like a 7-man co-op.
Oh my goodness.
Like even people who don't play 7 Deadly Sins, the anime, will be like, okay, I'm going to play a co-op game.
I would hop into it.
Exactly, so I could see that being a good thing. Fighting game. I'm trying to think of a good anime that would love a fighting game. Oh shit, we were just talking. Baki would be a great game.
That'd be fantastic.
That would be a great fighting game if they did it right.
They would have to really do it right because that's a really martial arts heavy. Mm-hmm. They couldn't turn it into an arena fighter because it just wouldn't translate.
It would have to be like a Street Fighter game.
It would have to be like a Street Fighter game. It's not simple, but the face buttons. Mm-hmm. You have your basic commands and stuff like that. Like because it's not flashy. It's not a flashy show. Yeah.
So if we took like non-overpowered characters, and even though they're overpowered than most humans, but
in their world they're overpowered.
If I had to think of a non-overpowered game that shouldn't be OP, Arena. I didn't mean to say OP. Arena. I would go with Baki. That would be a great show.
Okay.
And game to play.
But they have it's genuine martial arts. Mm-hmm. They have their characters are over the top, but it's still grounded in, said martial arts. And there's a lot of different styles. They tap into a lot of different things.
And then I could see shows like Dororo, which was a really good anime samurai show, and that new show Demon Slayer that's been going around. Give us some more good samurai games. Samurai ninja games. I haven't heard that many games. Sekiro's actually killing it right now, but that's not based off of anime or stuff. So, but if you translate like an anime game into like Sekiro and stuff, That would be amazing.
That would be. They would have to put time and effort into it.
Because outside Sekiro, the main games you got were like freaking Ninja Gaiden and stuff.
Yeah, and that's just pure hack and slash.
Yeah. There's so many potential for so many of these games.
But that goes into the question if they're willing to put in the effort, the money and the effort and all the time
exactly.
and
Like
stuff.
I can't think of a specific anime, but imagine like a anime game, but it was like critique down to the wire and stuff, like a game like Yakuza.
Oh yeah.
That would be amazing to have that level of like
detail
into an anime game. Like you could do all this stuff, you could do all these side mission stuff.
Where you could feel the love. You know?
Exactly.
They didn't release this game as a cash grab. They really wanted us to experience this world, these characters.
And that would go into like more like non-fighter but slice of life style anime.
Okay.
Like a Yakuza style game, I would choose the anime Dorora because that show's just based around so many characters living their life and they eventually convolute to each other, and then you just go from there. That would be a good translation of a game.
Okay, that's nice. That's very I don't know much about the show, but it seems like just because you're comparing it to Yakuza, you have a lot of downtime to do all these side missions, and then once the action is going, it gets going.
Yeah.
You know? And there's action in between things.
Yeah, and then you can build your characters up. You can live their life, do their jobs. Like in Yakuza, you can do jobs and freaking do karaoke and stuff like that.
Oh, that's silly. All that silly stuff.
But it's such an immersive game. You could have fun playing it forever. Like those are the type of games that you just wouldn't mind buying the stupidest DLC for. Like, oh man, a panther suit. Yeah, definitely getting that.
Let's do all of this shit, but in a panther suit.
Exactly. Like games like that, but with anime characters would be great too.
I think sometimes they just forget. Just have fun with it.
Yeah, like everything in anime isn't just fighting.
Yeah,
there's definitely different genres
that they never even tap into really.
Exactly.
It's always like the same like Big Ten or whatever. You have a lot of other popular animes that just aren't on like the mainstream stuff.
Like a Kami Good Kill.
Oh yeah.
You hate it.
I guess a game where I could play Serial Ubiquitous.
You could play Serial Ubiquitous and have a fighting game of that. See, it starts all bad, but then you're like, that would be kind of cool, I guess.
If we got into a comic game kill, like I'd be here all day long. But unfortunately, we do not have the time for me to get into. Maybe next time.
Yeah.
We'll get into that kind of stuff.
More anime deep dives next time.
Okay, so you're big on anime.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about all these fighting games.
Hell yeah.
Like Bloody Roar and things like that.
Jizzle.
And heading back to fighting games for a second. I know we never really left it, but heading back into fighting games proper. A staple of yours, and it's actually on the back of the shirt you're wearing right now.
It's my slogan.
It's slogan. You're the master of air and speed combat, right? I get that order right?
Speed and air combat.
Speed and air combat. I'm sorry, I got it mixed up. I know I would too. Master of speed and air combat. When did you decide, or fall into, when did you decide that that's your thing? Like, you love to be in the air, you love running around, you love rushing, all that stuff. You love jumping around and being in the skies. When did you decide, like, that's who you are as a fighter?
I want to say 2D fighting games got me more into that.
2D fighting games?
Yeah. Like, I really didn't have a character like when I was younger, I didn't have that experience that much, like when playing Street Fighter and stuff, because I was more of a Ryu and Ken user back then.
Okay.
But the more you start playing games like Guilty Gear and BlazBlue and stuff like that, Marvel vs. Capcom, you definitely find a certain character archetype that fits you. And I'm definitely not a power character, because power characters, you have to, like, get a lot of combos and have a certain combo that you can execute to take an opponent out. And I've never been the best at doing combo moves with characters. I have these big freaking thumbs, and they don't allow me to do combos. And I'm not a grappler character. You're a grappler, so I'm not a person who wants to think 3 moves ahead and like, all right, how's my opponent going to move for me to pop this big move off and make them not want to do that, and then pop off the next move that just shuts them down. That's not my playstyle. My playstyle is just quick hits. I want to keep making your health go down as much as I can, and have the ability to dodge perfectly. I don't need to have combos when I do this, because if the second I'm in your face, I'm going to get my quick hits, I'm out of there. Or I'm going to overwhelm you so badly with the speed that you're just going to give up.
So it's kind of like a hit and run type of style.
Exactly.
Like you get in there, and then you get out there, and you just frustrate the hell out of your opponent.
It's a hit and run until it overpowers you. Then it's a hack and slash.
Oh, man.
And then the error just came from just people. Some people are just perfect at doing guarding from high to low.
Right, good defense.
Guarding mix-ups and everything. I feel like I do better at dodging the air better than that, because there's certain games where you can just jump in the air, move backwards, forward, jump down when you need to.
Yeah.
And I'm just really good at that.
It's always kind of been your thing, stay in the air, because there's a lot less options in the air for your opponent to do. You know, they have to hit you in an anti-air, and which is what I imagine you would want them to do, they'll jump after you.
And try to do an attack.
Yeah, and then you're 4 steps ahead of them at that point.
Yeah, at that point I'm like, I already know what move I'm going to do in the air, because being a master of speed in air combat, which I call myself, my characters usually have moves that are perfect in the air, that you can combo off in the air. So I know if I catch you with this move, it's going boom. It's going to start destroying you. I get you back down to the ground, I can start hitting you with the quick hits again. It's like a constant rotation of possibilities for me, rather than having to rely on one combo or one power move that's going to keep it going and lock a person out in the corner.
And I'd imagine a kind of a plus to that kind of style is you dictate the flow of the match.
Yes.
You don't wait for your opponent to move, you make them move.
Exactly.
And that's when you're at your strongest.
Exactly. And you can definitely move someone around the board if you play them right. Also, defense-wise, speed and air characters can dodge better, so it just helps me out more. What else did I say? They also do less damage than most characters, so you can never get that gripe of, oh, you're using an OP as hell character. Like, the worst I'll ever get with a character on my playstyle is they have an incredible special.
Sometimes they do.
Yeah. Like, when I think about my playstyle, there's 2 characters who always pop to my head immediately because I fell in love with them, and that's Noelle Vermillion from Blaze Blue. To this day, goddamn, she is my embodiment of a character for a 2D game. And X-23 from Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Oh my god, she sends shivers up my spine anytime I use her.
All over the
She's
board,
all over the place. She's quick hitting, and she has that level 2 special where if you catch it off, you pretty much killed the person.
Now, is that the one where she kind of just like disappears?
Yeah, when she goes invisible, and then if you happen to hit the button right at the same time, your opponent doesn't dodge anything, she just takes off all the energy.
Gotcha. I still have no real idea how that move works. Or
It
how to dodge
literally
or what to do
it
about
literally is you go invisible. You can still attack and everything in that mode, but then you can hit a button for the actual execution to happen, and it pretty much did like 45-50% health.
Oh, okay.
And then if you X factor it was going to kill you if you
no.
if you had more than 70 health, you're good, but if you had less than 70 health, you're dead.
Well, your Noelle is infamous in the group. I don't remember the last time I've actually defeated your Noelle. Certainly not, in recent memory. Whether it be in Blaze Blue or cross tag battles.
Yeah.
Blaze Blue cross tag battle?
Yeah, it's Blaze Blue cross tag battle.
Blaze Blue, Central Fiction or cross tag battle, and especially not in Chrono Phantasma. I've always struggled against your Noelle, and it's always because you're either dashing all over the place, or she has like a lot of high-low mix-ups, and she's really fast. She doesn't hit too hard, and she's got, I think, lower health than everybody else.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly.
And Blaze Blue is a perfect example, because there's like different kinds of speed characters. Like, you struggle with my Noelle, but then I also use characters like Taokaka, who are definitely super fast all over the place, but it's a different feel.
And Taokaka's also one of those characters that's, super mobile.
Yeah.
But she doesn't hit very hard, and she's got low health, too.
Yeah, it's just Noelle has like a different like fluid motion to her, and it's what really makes it up.
Now, what made you start using Noelle? So she seems like she has like a very special place in your heart.
Honestly, I used her because Pecan Swirl was like, I feel like you will like her, because Taokaka was my main at first, and I was like, I really want another character, and then he's like, try her. He was like, try Noelle. I feel like you will like her. And I used her, and I was like, okay, I've seen her. And then I used her drive, and then after I used her drive, I was like, oh yeah, this is definitely my character.
Oh, it was all over, huh?
She's perfect in the air. She has an air special. She's perfect on the ground. She has combos that she can use to escape and or pressure the opponent. And I love my Noelle just because most people are like, here comes Noelle. He's just going to spam the drive the entire time.
Now, do you mind explaining what the drive does for the people who might not be
on Blaze Blue, the drives are each character's special ability. So let's say Ragna, he can make his Black Onslaught move come out. Jin, he can use ice moves, projectiles, stuff like that. Noelle's is pretty much like a combo string. Like it's like 5 different types of moves. Like she names them type 1, type 2, type 3, type 4, and type 5. And they all just do a different type of move, and they can all just chain link with each other. So you can choose whether you want those. Once you start it off with hit next, you can choose if you want it to be a straightforward move. You can choose if you want to be straightforward into a mix-up down low. You can choose if you want it to be freaking straightforward down low, and then out of nowhere a jumping attack that goes overhead. She just has so many different types of different moves you can do. There's so many it's almost like there's infinite possibilities on what you can pull off with her, as long as you know everything. And that's what really got me with her, because she's a speed and air combo woman, and she has that combo string. There's just an infinite possibility of what you can do with her.
So it's kind of like she was built from the ground up for you, like for your hands and for your play style.
Exactly. Like, she's definitely my favorite. Her and X23, they just boom.
They're perfect.
They're perfect. They're like right after Yugo in my list of favorite fighting game characters to use.
Really? So it goes Yugo and then
Noelle and then X23. Yeah.
That's impressive. That's a hard list to get on.
Yeah, and that's funny because most of the characters I use on 2D fighting game characters are the beast style users, because they're my play style. It's not even just because I love wolves. It's just if you see a character with claws, they're most likely going to be a very fast, ferocious character.
Right, and you're a very ferocious Misfortune player in Skullgirls as well. I mean, you also use Cerebella, who kind of goes against your. She's
the exception on my fighting game. Like, I never thought I would use a grappling character in my life until I used Cerebella.
Well, she also moves pretty well.
Yeah.
She can dash back and forth.
She has the flying move, which keeps her in the air. So she plays with my she's the only person who plays like my fighting style, but has a big oomph with her.
Right. She hits hard, but moves gracefully.
Exactly.
But Misfortune, she matches exactly pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, if someone were to see, they'll be like, he's a Misfortune player?
Yeah.
And that's when you get him, like, psych, bitch, I'm a Cerebella player.
And I also play with Philia, too. It's the same thing with Noelle and Talcaka. They're 2 different kinds of speed players.
Got you.
Like, Misfortune would definitely be my main speed user, but Philia brings that speed and grace with her that I can definitely get behind too.
Gotcha. And Philia's she's like the protagonist of the Skullgirls there. Quote unquote protagonist. She doesn't do much in the story. But she's I don't want to call her basic, but she's got she's got her uppercuts and her like projectiles and stuff.
Yeah, then she has I love her because she has mid-air moves. Like, she can do her moves down low, but then she can jump out and do like the buzzsaw move and stuff like that. Like, she just has a great range with what she can do.
Right, she's got a pretty good toolkit.
Yeah.
She has an answer for every situation.
So, but yeah, back to your main question. It just feels like speed and air combat characters just make up for the crutch I had on not being able to do combos and stuff, because if I play any fighting game, the first thing they do, they go to practice mode, they learn the combos and stuff.
Okay.
I can't do that. I make up my own combos because I know I can't do the combos. I've never ever performed a 10-hit combo in Tekken once.
Not even once?
On the practice dummy, I've probably done it a few times, but I've never ever like yep, I memorized it, I got it down. I'm not gonna memorize it, and most likely these big fucking thumbs are gonna make me mess up.
I'm not gonna let you do it. Well, they're not optimal combos.
Exactly.
Like, there's always every single 10-hit combo's got a low hit that can just block and punish.
But you'll see. But now you see in tournament plays. Now you have the tournament people always have a certain combo where oh man, if I got hit by that, I'm dead.
Yeah.
I can't be that kind of player. I have to be just keep eating away at you, and speed characters are who do that.
Right, just whittle away your health.
Yeah.
And I don't think it can be understated how great you are at frustrating the opponent.
Yeah.
Because we talked, I don't want to say behind your back, but we're like, yeah, sometimes fighting Keys is frustrating because he's all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and you're unpredictable. I think that's what it is. You're unpredictable. We don't know what's going to come out.
I would say, I know Snapple Grapple hates me. Because outside of beast characters, usually the most characters who applied to me are female characters.
Oh, and he's got a weird gripe about that.
Yeah. Most people hate go against female characters. Like, you're only using her because you think you're hot. It's like, no, not really.
I mean, the female characters are usually sometimes smaller.
Yeah, they're smaller and faster. If they're not, I usually don't use them. Like, for instance, there's so many female characters on Tekken, but Xiaoyu's my main. Yeah. And it's not because I'm like, oh my gosh, she's so fucking... It's because she plays to my style perfectly.
She's very dodgy. She's hard to hit sometimes. And when you do hit her, sometimes it's all disjointed and you can't really get the full combo.
She's so fast, and then she has a perfect amount of combos. Then you have people like, oh my god, my next favorite character to use, Jun. And she's so much babe.
Jun, baby.
She is probably the most fluid character I've ever used in my life. I love her so much. She has that right amount of speed, but she's just so technical with what you can do with her.
Now, sticking with Jun. Jun in
Tekken Tag too.
In Tekken Tag, yeah, is drastically different from Jun in Tekken 2 and Tekken Tag 1.
Yeah.
Do you think did you mess with her a lot in those old games?
No, I will definitely say Jun in recent, even though she's pretty much almost a copy and paste of Asuka, pretty much sync with me the best. Because I didn't use Xiao Yu on every Tekken either. I didn't start using Xiao Yu until I think Tekken 4 or 5.
Oh, Well, in Tekken 3, she was very, very technical.
Yeah, she was harder to use and I didn't like her. I was a Jin player most of the time. Then they switched Jin style up and then I switched off of Jin to Harang and Kazuya.
Okay.
So it really just goes with, you just got to find who goes with your fighting style the most. Like, let's say if we went back to Bloody Roar, they made a new one and they made Yugo completely different.
Right, he's like a capoeira fighter or something.
Yeah, or something. I would use him out of respect for the past, but I would probably have to find a new main character.
Right, and that's always a heartbreak, isn't it?
Yeah.
When you change up like your main to a point, like in a way that you just don't like them.
Exactly.
And like maybe the opposite style that you played, and like that's who they are now.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's like you want to use what you're used to, but then it's gone. So you're like, all right, I gotta adapt.
That's like if Marvel vs. Capcom 4 came out, right? And X-23 was a zoner.
Exactly. I just like, that sucks. Hopefully they kept Gamora the same and I can use her.
Yeah, she was kind of X-23-esque.
Yeah, I had her and then I had Monster Hunter.
Oh, yeah.
Monster Hunter. She was like my Cerebella. She was like strong. She was fast as
days.
She had armor and she just had that one hit that would hurt you really good.
That was always fun.
Yeah.
Those were fun times. But that's interesting. I didn't know X-23 was like that high up on your favorite character.
Yeah.
I knew Noelle was up there, but I didn't know X-23 was like right below her.
She's probably the fastest character I ever not modded fast character I ever used. I just love her for it.
So, what would you say? Let's go back to Bloody Roar for 1 second.
Yeah.
For 1 second, that game didn't really have any like speed and air combat characters.
No,
I mean, you're a Yugo main, obviously.
The fastest character in the game I didn't use.
Was Bakuryu, right?
Bakuryu. I didn't even like Bakuryu. I would use him, and the main move I would use, he had one of Yugo's moves. He had a multiple uppercut move.
Oh yeah, that was kind of cool.
And that's because Yugo taught him a little bit, but I never want, unless I had to, I would never use Bakuryu. The fastest character I would use was Yuriko, and she kind of fed underneath my playstyle for speed and air combat.
She was more of a tricky character.
Yeah.
As opposed to being fast. She had like weird properties to the way she fought.
Which is good because another reason why I like speed and air combat characters is because they're tricky.
And they're hard to hit.
Yeah, they're hard to hit. So she was like perfect to what my fighting style is now, but I just preferred Yugo over top of her because
he's the wolf.
Yeah, he's the wolf. He's the hard hitting. I had him down to a T. So it really is different strokes for different shit. But man.
I mean, another good character that I see you use sometimes that kind of scratches both itches, a wolf and kind of a speedy, tricky character is Vulcanheim.
Oh yeah.
In BlazBlue, he's a literal werewolf, and he's got like that weird wolf corkscrew move that they always give to wolves for some reason.
That fang over fang style move.
Yeah. Every wolf's. Like, I've never once seen a wolf do, like, a corkscrew in the wild, but for some reason every wolf does a corkscrew.
Yeah,
exactly. I don't understand.
It's supposed to image fang attacks because the way it's described, they're not doing a corkscrew, they're, like, doing multiple slashes and stuff like that.
Okay.
But, yeah, Balkenheim was he became my third at one point, but yeah, he still wasn't like, oh my god, I'm going to use him over top of Noelle.
Right, because Noelle's faster.
Yeah.
She fits your playstyle more.
Exactly.
And if I remember fighting your Noelle, because you hit me with this a couple times, I'd be prepared for the drive, right? You're doing your drive, you're doing your guns, but then you would stop without hitting like your type 4 or type 5, and she would kind of go back into a stance.
Yes.
She would put some space between, and me being stupid, like I would try to swing at that gap, but she puts a space and I'm wide open, and then you always follow up with some crazy stuff.
Yeah, and that's like the tricky aspect of the speed and air combat. You always have to find something that can give you an edge, because if you come predictable with speed and air combat users. They're so easy to read.
Yeah.
Like, I remember on Street Fighter, like, I had to adapt because you would be like, all right, he's going to do this. The second he jumps in the air, I'm going to just freaking get my air grab off him and destroy him.
Yeah, there's anti-air.
Yeah,
it's easy to read anti-air sometimes.
And that's the problem. Like, most characters on most games will have an anti-air. You have to be wary of that. So you have to, you got to keep developing.
You have to keep adapting. And that's something you're great at. You're very good at adapting. And I guess you have to be with that kind of style. Because a person who specializes in your kind of play style, who like jumps around and stuff, if they become predictable, that's pretty much game over.
Yeah.
Because you'll know when they'll dash in, you'll know when they'll try to jump back, or when they'll jump forward.
Or if they're trying to set you up for the grand special or something.
Yeah.
And that's why my second slogan under Master of Speed and Air Combat is don't underestimate me.
Okay.
Because there'll be times where someone thinks they have you figured out. In most cases they do, and they'll just take it easy on you afterwards or try to clown you or do stuff like on Mortal Kombat, give you a mercy and like, let's do this again, or freaking Blaze Blue where do the ultimate special, the what was it called? The Astro finisher where you had to do so much to pull those off. People will go for those, and you're like, no, fuck that. So me in that case, I'm like, you're pushing me, you're making me break my limits, and that's why I love don't underestimate me, because you're never going to see me at a certain level cap. I'm always going to do something that's going to make you go, you know what, he wasn't an easy person. I'm not pro level, but I'm definitely not your basic amateur.
Right. They'll remember you.
Exactly.
They'll remember their fight with you. You'll leave your mark on them.
I'm either going to be like, make them think like, oh, he's pretty good, or I'm going to make you mad to the point where you go, you're a pussy, blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, I know I'm just like, I must have struck a chord with you if you had to at least hit me with that rage.
Right? Because at that point, you're the reason why their heart is racing, why their palms are sweaty, why they're angry, why they're probably not playing the game anymore that day. And it's all because of the Banzai Wolf Burger.
Exactly.
That's pretty badass. That is pretty badass. Yeah. Since we covered anime, right? We covered your fighting games, your moniker as the master of speed and air combat, Bloody Roar, all that stuff. There's a lot of hallmarks of you as a person, right? You're a wolf and you're speed and air combat and stuff like that. A lot of fun little marks there. But another thing, like, if I were asked to describe Banzai Wolf Burger, I'd be like, dope as all hell. He likes anime.
Hell yeah.
And he's a world-class cosplayer.
Huh. Stop.
I mean, this man, he won a whole nationwide contest, and he met Will Smith in the cast of Suicide Squad.
Hi, Will.
Based on his abilities as a cosplayer. So, do not sneeze at that. Because that just means he was better than the entire nation at doing what he does best.
I try.
Don't be modest.
I can never brag about my cosplay stuff. I just do the best I can, and hopefully it just strikes a chord with people.
See, that's humble. But I'll brag about your cosplay stuff.
Yeah, you guys will. I never brag about my cosplay. The only time I'll brag about my cosplay is my Kiba from Naruto cosplay.
Right. And that was fantastic. Still one of the best I've ever seen. Same with your noob. Your noob was fantastic. You go the extra effort. You paint your skin.
Yeah.
I seen what it took to get that off of you and to get that on you. Like, screw that effort. That's too much. And the fact that you have to put in contacts and you hate putting in contacts.
God. My eyes are wigging out just from you saying that.
You go the extra mile every time for your cosplay. You don't cut corners unless you absolutely have to because finances or time. But you don't cut corners. You don't take the easy way out. If you have to do this much work to do it, you do even more work to do it to make sure you get the best cosplay possible. People remember you. They look out for you. Is Banzai Wolf Burger going to be there in his Kiba and his noob? Or in your, I don't know if you ran your Scar yet?
No, I'm premiering it soon at a con, which I wasn't going to do, but I was just like, you know what, freak it, I want to do it for this con. Right. That was just a random, I was like, closet cosplay, I'll just do it for fun.
Closet cosplay.
But I just loved the way it came out, so I was like, okay, sure.
Right, I've seen some of the pictures that you sent, I guess you sent to us, or I don't quite remember where I saw the pictures, but I've seen the pictures, and you look fantastic.
Thank you.
It turned out very well. And you make your own props, too?
Yeah.
As much as you can. There's some props, obviously, you can't make. Yeah. But you make your own props. I've seen you make your Noob Cybot sickle. That was really cool.
Thank you.
because I gush over your noob saibot all the time because it looks so awesome. I always think noob is a really cool character, and most people, they don't put in the effort to do like some of these characters justice. They want to put their own spin on it that might make it easier for them. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm gonna be you've done an urban noob, but they might do like, oh, I'll be an urban noob. I'll wear black jeans and a black hoodie and put a mask on. Boom, I'm urban noob. You know what I mean? But you don't do that. You're Bihan, right? You did the noob that's, you know, Bihan incarnate, his costume, but like black, if I remember correctly, right? And I always respect that. You didn't put your own twist on it because the twist would be too easy. You did it the best you can, and it looks great. But enough for the gushing. When you see a character, what goes through your head when you say, I want to cosplay that character?
Usually 2 factors. One, you have to look badass, but you have to look badass in a way that I was like, oh, I want to look like that. Like, it can't be like any because a lot of anime characters look cool or out of this world in a certain way. Like Dragon Ball Z characters, they all like Super Saiyan, looking crazy, blah blah blah. Like, for example, One Punch Man, Garo, the Hero Hunter, he looks. I love him as a character. He looks badass, but I wouldn't cosplay him because I don't feel like I would look right as him.
Right. What? Because like his hair.
Because of his hair and how it would translate to me. But there's exceptions to that because I cosplayed Deku recently, and I told myself I would never cosplay Deku.
But you put your own twist on it.
I put my own twist to it, and it made me feel more comfortable with it.
Right, and not in a way like I was mentioning before that was like an easy way out.
Yeah.
You just put a turn on it to match, you know, who you are.
Exactly.
You are an African American cosplayer, so you have to kind of take liberties.
Shout out to my blurs. But yeah, for one, the character has to be appealing to me. I have to really like their design, how they look, and like the second I see them, I'm like, oh, there's that person. But also, I have to love their character too.
So it's not just based on appearance?
No, I have to find the character has to be something that I like or know I can get into character for. Like, for example, who can I use? Like Naruto. He's one of my favorite freaking anime characters in the fucking world. But I haven't, and I will never cosplay him. I love his design. I love his attitude, but it's just not something I can see myself personally looking good in.
Right.
And when you cosplay, you don't want to just cosplay something just to cosplay, but oh man, he's doing that, awesome. You want to feel comfortable in it. You want to be able to feel like, hey, I just became this character. And you want to walk around feeling like proud, like I did this effort. I look good. If you can't say you look good before anybody else does, there's a problem with that.
Okay, yeah. So you have to embody.
Yeah.
You have to embody the character before you can cosplay the character. It's pretty much what you're
exactly. There's only been 2 cosplays that I've done where I really didn't know the character, but pulled it off and eventually loved it. And that's my Red Guard from Skyrim that I was asked to do for a group from my boy Eric and our own Pro J47, hit the Champ Special. I've never played Skyrim a day in my life. But because in Skyrim you can make your own characters, I made that Red Guard my own character.
Right, you were the Red Guard.
I was the Red Guard. I was a werewolf. I was a werewolf.
A werewolf Red Guard.
Exactly. And then I cosplayed Joshua Graham from Fallout. I've never played Fallout a day in my life.
I don't even think I've seen that cosplay of yours.
Yeah. I gotta show it to you sometime.
Joshua Graham. I have no idea who that is.
He's also called the Burn Man, but he's pretty much like this police-looking guy. He's just wrapped up in wraps and has a gun and SWAT team. I know nothing about him other than when I looked him up for a quick moment, but I got his acting down, and I could vibe with his acting, and people said I did a good impersonation, so it makes you just connect a little bit more with that character.
There's a See, that's an aspect of cosplay that I wasn't aware of. I thought people would just say, he looks cool, I'm going to cosplay him.
Yeah, that's actually a meme.
Really?
Yeah, like, I know this one picture that strikes a chord. It's like, this will be this person, a character who cosplays like Melina or something. Let's say they cosplay Melina, and you're like, I don't like the way you look. And someone's like, why? It's because I don't fit the body type, or I'm not the best looking Melina out there, blah, blah, blah. And the end of the picture's like, no, it's because you have Katana's fan and you're Melina. Because you know nothing about the character, you cosplayed it wrong. See, if you don't know nothing about a character to the point where you can get fact checked like that, what's the point of cosplaying it? You gotta enjoy it. It has to be a character you like or want to cosplay so much that you get to know them.
I can respect that. Do you think some cosplayers, they fall into that trap?
I feel like they do because there's people who see a cosplay like, oh man, I could definitely do that and look good as it. Well, they'll just make the costume and just look like the character. And I'm not dismerching them. Bravo to you. If you're like a giant bodybuilder ass motherfucker and you've never watched 7 Deadly Sins in your life, but you can cosplay Escanor perfectly, go for it.
Okay.
Because in a way, that's still you relating to something. You relate to his muscles. But if you're like cosplaying like Naruto and you're just like, I know nothing about him, I don't really even know the show or anything like that, are you really having fun with it?
Yeah, because what if someone comes and asks you a question?
Yeah,
Or they come up dressed like Hinata or Sasuke and do a little bit of role play.
Yeah.
And they run up to you and they go, Naruto!
And you're just like, who? Oh, I thought it was just blonde-haired ninja guy. I didn't know I actually had a name.
That would garner such a belly laugh for me.
Mm-hmm.
And even though I don't cosplay, that is I don't want to call it like a pet peeve, but it's something I really don't like when I see like some of the pictures of people who they'll be dressed as a character, maybe a character I know, but they'll be doing something out of character, but they're supposed to be like posing. Like say you're I can only do like fighting game ones. Say you're doing your noob and you're doing the classic Sub-Zero pose with the one hand up, and someone is cosplaying like let's see, I'm trying to think of something that.
They say they're doing Reptile, but going for like the Scorpion get over here spear.
Yeah, or something like that. Like they're going for Reptile and instead of doing like maybe classic Reptile, which I don't expect everyone to know what classic Reptile is with the 2 hands up.
But he's not going to pull out a Scorpion spear.
Yeah, and he's not going to be holding a sword like Reptile, but I got a ninja sword. It's like, but you're not though.
Yeah.
But you're not Reptile with the ninja sword. You're just a green ninja with a ninja sword.
Yeah. And I can understand where you're coming from on that, because in cosplay in general, twists are good, but it has to be a twist that makes sense.
Right.
It can't be random as hell. Let it translate somehow, or be a twist where it's like, oh, I didn't even think about doing that way. It has to be something that makes sense and makes everybody like, oh man, that's an eye opener right there.
That's cool.
Or that's paying homage to something that directly translates to that character in a way.
Just like your Deku.
Yeah.
You did take a bit of an African American spin on it. You gave him, he had dreads and he had other cool things.
But it's still Deku, just if he happened to be African American.
Right, if you happen to be African American.
Yeah.
And those are the twists that I can dig when it just happens, because you have to play to your strengths. And I feel like that might be where some people kind of like drop the ball.
Yeah. I want to say twists like that are usually my strength, because it was like what you were saying earlier, where some people do twists just to make things easier for them and stuff. My twists are for me to get more of an impact on my stuff, because I'll always call myself an average cosplayer, and people will be like, yeah, whatever. But
whatever.
To me, I'm an average cosplayer. I don't sew like a lot of people who can make their own costumes from the ground up. I can't sell, so sometimes I have to buy costumes and stuff. I'm not the greatest at making props and stuff. Like, there's a lot of stuff I can't do compared to other cosplayers. But what I can do with said store-bought stuff, or ideas that I come up with, like going to Goodwill and buying this to make this look like something else, I feel like that gives me an advantage, because I can come up with something that like the person who made everything did that maybe they didn't think of, and that can give me an edge.
Right. So you think being creative and resourceful goes sometimes even farther than being able to sew or having a lot of money to buy good stuff?
Yes, and my Kiba cosplay is a perfect example. Compared to most Kiba outfit cosplayers, some people will buy the outfit or make the outfit, and that'll be it. No, for my Kiba cosplay, I want it to be like a full-on me, but also definitely Kiba. So I'll get like the beast contacts, I'll buy the beast nails, I'll strike the all four stance.
Right, you get low for that one.
Yeah, I love it. You have to become the character. You have to do things like other cosplayers don't do for the character that makes sense. And that's why I kind of say my Kiba cosplay is one of my more prouder ones, because I definitely bring it for that cosplay to try to be better than the rest or make a lasting impression. Because you'll go to cons and they'll do the photo shoots and I'm like, all Kibas come up. I want to have that moment where someone's like, that Kiba right there is killing it.
That's the one. Like, that's the Kiba. And they'll probably go home and be like, I just saw like the best Kiba I've ever seen today.
And that's the one thing that's one of the things in my cosplay career I can be proud of, where people are like, "You're the best keeper ever. I love you." I'm like,
Right, despite being black, you were the best keep I've ever seen.
yeah, and I'm just like, thanks, thank you so much.
And it's those kind of compliments, I bet, that kind of drives you forward.
Yeah.
When someone walks up and they say, "Hey, your cosplay looks fantastic," or "You're like the best keep I've ever seen." Is that like a big factor in what makes you do it?
It makes you feel so appreciated at the end of the day, like, especially for like someone like me. Like, I say I'm not the best, I truly feel it, but I try my best. Like, I can't sew, I can't make stuff the way some people do. You got all these cosplayers who are like on some scientific stuff, putting like LED lights and smoke machines and stuff in their cosplays. I can't do that, but I can try to think my best options up to make something look great and show like, hey, you don't have to be the best to be able to cosplay good. Or you can still stand next to other people and just make something eye-catching.
And do you think that perhaps, like you say, you don't have some of the tools, like you can't really sew, and there's people that are running LED lights like through their costumes, and they can buy like all like the nice expensive gear and things like that. Do you think that it's your ability to inhabit the character you're cosplaying that allows you to fully immerse maybe even the people that are looking at you into the cosplay itself?
I can definitely say that's a good factor, because I get told all the time when I cosplay noob, I am like the creepiest motherfucker ever. Like, I'm staring into your soul. I look like I'm actually about to combat you. I've gotten compliments when I did my gender bend version of Hisaka.
That's one of my favorites.
When I just stare into a person's soul, I'm bending backwards, I'm yelling and stuff, like, not being like overly like weebish and like being annoying stuff, but
right.
Just having that like feel like, oh my god, he really is like becoming the character, can give you an edge.
Yeah, it can. And Hisako, I'm not taking anything from you or anything, but Hisako she just wears a kimono.
A kimono and has a spear.
Yeah, has a spear. So it's not like much to it.
Yeah.
But you do you did the whole like backbending thing, and
the zombie walk, everything.
Zombie walk, the wide eyes and stuff. It does creep people out.
Yeah,
which is a creepy character.
Yeah.
So
it's just something extra you want to add on, is because it's not just about having the costume. It's also thinking about the character themselves. That really helps with cosplay, because what you're really doing at the end of cosplay, you're becoming the character.
Right. Which is kind of what people want when they would see the animes.
Yeah.
And I think that's what should drive them to want to cosplay the character. It's like, I want to be that character.
Yeah, because it's crazy, because now you got shows like the live action version of shows, and you'll see them, and they have Hollywood budgets, and you're like, damn, I just saw a cosplayer blow that out the smoke already. Like DC Titans, people complain so much like, oh, they couldn't do this they couldn't make her skin orange for Starfire because blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I saw someone just take orange paint and just blend it to themselves perfectly by themselves for hours, but they didn't have a Hollywood team. They didn't have Hollywood makeup artists and stuff. It's definitely possible.
It's possible. And I believe that it's because those Hollywood shows don't have the heart that you guys have to put in that effort.
Yeah, cosplayers are some very convicted, proud, and hardworking people.
That's true. Very proud, very hardworking, and that's to a T. Very convicted. There's convicted.
Convicted. I think I said the same thing.
Yeah, I think we both say convicted. They have a lot of conviction.
Yeah.
To being the character they want, regardless if they choose to because they think they look cool, or if they like the character, or they just want to challenge themselves. Do you think you might have chosen to cosplay just to challenge yourself, to see if you could do it?
Honestly, I think the first thing I did, because my first con, I didn't cosplay at all. My first few cons, I didn't cosplay at all. And I was just like, man, this is great. And then eventually I just saw how much fun other people were doing, becoming a character and stuff, and how great they looked doing it. I was like, I just wanted to try it out.
See what happens?
Yeah.
Now look at you.
And
World class.
Now I get to do that. Sometimes I do want to challenge myself just to see if I can do it. Like I said, I'm not the best at sewing and everything, but I'm learning. I'm learning how to sew. I'm way better at building armor now with foam and stuff than I was, like, let's say 3 years ago. I would, like, if I went to pass myself and was like, look what I can do, he'd be like, the fuck?
You wee bitch, get out of my face.
Yeah, go away. I might hurt myself now, so you can never do that.
Oh my god.
But yeah, it's just like a learning process. You just want to keep doing the best you can. It's a drive. It makes you want to keep striving to do better, so you can keep getting better and better at the next build you do.
That's a lesson that I think a lot of people could take.
Yeah.
'Cause it comes down to passion.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's just you have a passion for it, so you give it your all.
Yeah, I definitely have a passion for cosplay, video games, anime, pretty much my life.
Shit, that's better than some people's lives.
Crack cocaine and that's my life.
I don't think your mom is going, oh, I can't believe my son watches anime and makes awesome cosplay.
Yeah, as long as it's not a hindrance to your life.
Yeah, I mean, they're innocent hobbies that just make people happy.
Yeah.
Right? People love seeing a good cosplay. People love anime.
You just have some of the douchebags out there who make it not fun, but
Of course, but that's everywhere.
yeah, that's just life. That's why with video games, my slogan is Master Speed and Air Combat. My slogan for cosplay is peace, love, and positivity in the cosplay community. Because no matter what, at the end of the day, we're all just nerds dressing up. So why not be nice to each other?
You know what? I couldn't have said that better myself. Because yeah, I mean, I could try to repeat it. I could try to emphasize it more. But no, you're just right. That just hit it all.
Yeah, support each other. Let's have fun. Let's do what we love to do and see other people do what they love to do.
Because at the end of the day, we're all just nerds
and
dressing up.
Yeah. Hell
Damn,
yeah.
I think people need to get that in their heads more.
Definitely. That's why you just gotta keep having fun, spread the word, and just check assholes at their gate.
Yeah. Make sure everyone's having a good time. Final question, quick and easy. As far as cosplay go, what is your dream cosplay?
Oh my god, I hate it when people ask me that because it's such a hard cosplay.
Damn, I thought it was gonna be like an easy question.
Because most people, they have a dream cosplay, they're like, oh man, I would do it, but it would be so hard to do. And for the longest time, I didn't think about what my dream cosplay would be. And then when I think, the first thing that usually pops to my head when I'm like, I guess that's my dream cosplay, but it seems whack, I would do Grimjal's second form from Bleach.
His second form?
Yeah.
Do you mind just describing what it looks like just a little bit?
Yeah, it's like, so Grimjal's beast form is a panther. So when he goes into his like final form, he gets like panther-like armor going across his body. So it would be like a full body armor type thing.
Oh, jeez.
And it's like, and then it would have like a slit right here on the, like a V-neck almost, and then you could like wear like a crown. It's almost like bone armor in a sense. So that would be my dream cosplay. Would that always be my dream cosplay? No, I feel like there's something that I haven't seen yet that I'm like, oh my god, that would take so much time and effort, but I want to do that one day.
Right. It might evolve from what it is now.
But anytime someone asks me that, that's the first thing I think about, because I was like, oh, that would be dope to do.
Dang, okay.
It's definitely more possible to do now too, but
now you're getting better at armors and things like that.
Yeah.
And sewing and improving your craft.
And you know, in a way, I think why, because I just saw this right now in my head, I think a reason why that's so hard to do, because I think one of my cosplays that I loved doing it was my dream cosplay at one point. My Noob Saibot, that was just me being a shadow for my older brother, who's like a great god tier cosplayer. I just wanted to be his actual shadow that he sends out. But then eventually I just made it my own and made myself a Noob Saibot who can also be a shadow as well.
Right, you became like a connector of sorts.
Yeah, so sometimes you just do your dream cosplays without realizing it until you can find another dream cosplay. But as far as right now, that's one cosplay. I'm like, one day I just gotta do that just to do it.
Right, and one day you will, and then you'll be wondering what your next dream cosplay is.
Exactly.
Keep achieving them as you go.
Mm-hmm.
And the more you improve your craft, the more opportunities open for you to look at even grander things. Maybe there's characters that you really love that are so out of cosplay range that you just didn't even consider cosplaying them. And maybe like once you get good at doing armor, once you get good at sewing and all that stuff, you'll be able to, you'll look at them like, shit, I can do that.
Yeah, that actually makes me think of something because it just translates to when we first started about. I remember one time I thought about, I was like, man, it would be dope as hell to cosplay Yugo in his beast form.
Oh my god.
I was like, that would be so hard to do. I don't even know how to do that. And I remember Google searching a certain cosplay, and then this guy popped up as Talbane from Dogstalkers, and he was like in like a furry suit, but not your traditional like goofy looking furry suit. Like he looked like he was like Talbane, like a werewolf. I was like,
it was like form fitting.
Yeah, it was it wasn't form fitting to his body, so it just looked great. Like the legs were the actual werewolf hind legs and everything. I'm just like, that looks incredible.
Right? It's possible.
So stuff like that, it's like, yeah, well, maybe one day I'll learn how to do furry stuff. no, but
Maybe one of these days.
maybe one day I'll learn how to make fursuits. I can be a werewolf or a beast creature and stuff like that. The possibilities are endless.
Endless, man. Especially once you get your skills up.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome, man. That's really awesome. Like, knowing that... Well, just knowing what your dream cosplay is, now I can keep my eyes open and just wait for the day when you pull it off, because I want to be there. If when you say, hey, I'm working on Grimjow's second form, working on his second form now, I'll be like, tell me the con, because I'm going, and I'm going to be there when you show it off and blow everyone's minds.
Yeah, definitely I wanted one day, one of my goals is I want to be good enough to the day where I can just, like, make something for someone if I wanted to. Because, let's say, for the example of you, there's been so many days where I'm like, oh my god, I would love to make KO a reptile costume and just have him walk around with reptile, or just make the mask. He's like, yo, I got a dope ass reptile mask.
That would be a dream cosplay for me, but I have no cosplay ability.
Or like be able to be like, yeah, I'm so good. Like, hey, you want a Yoshimitsu armor? I made you Yoshimitsu armor.
Like, I would love Yoshimitsu.
Which I just saw someone who cosplayed Yoshimitsu recently. I was like, oh my fucking god, the amount of detail they put for that.
Jesus.
It was the armor was perfect. The sword was perfect. The sword and the inside of the armor lit up, and I was like, oh my god.
That's true Yoshimitsu fan.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, man, that's the goal right there, to be able to do stuff like that.
To make people have that exact orgasmic expression.
Exactly.
Upon sight.
Exactly. And it gets easier because YouTube, people show stuff at cons. There's people who do panels on learning how to do stuff. Like, for instance, my next con is Blurred Con, and this person who I know does great work with LED lights is doing an LED panel on how the basics of LEDs. I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely going to attend that. I want to know how to do the electronic stuff.
Oh, hell yeah. That'll up your game like crazy.
Exactly.
And all of a sudden you can do glowy characters.
Yeah, instead of just doing like simple like lights I put on weapons and like my Deadshot eye, now I can be like, look at my... Because my end game, what I really want to learn LEDs for right now is I want to imitate doing full Callan with Deku across my whole costume.
Oh, that would be crazy.
Yeah, I'm already studying up on a book on how to do it, so at this point it's just practicing and getting better at it so I can achieve that goal.
Nice.
So not dream cosplay, but that's a dream goal that I'm working on towards now. I can't wait.
Nah, that would be a milestone.
Yeah.
Learning how to wire all that stuff. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. I hope you get there sooner rather than later.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, that is all the questions I have for you today. I don't know if you have any concerns or questions of your own.
No,
now's the time.
Man, all I can say is that was fun. You really picked my brain on stuff. Like, now I'm just, for like 5 days straight now, I'm like, damn, these people really would make a good Bloody Roar game. I can't, like, I'm about to hit them up on Twitter like, hey, yo.
Planting the seeds, man.
Oh, man, but no, that was great. I'm glad you invited me to be on this.
Oh, it was my pleasure, man. It is an honor to have you on and answering my silly questions on things. I'm just a very curious person, but I can never find the context to ask some of the questions that go through my head.
Oh, no, that was great. I'd definitely do it again.
Well, we touched on a couple of things that I would definitely like to hit up on another time.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's it, then we can close out the show.
Okay.
Thanks everybody for joining us. I am, as per usual, Mick Wolfie Goldberg, and I would like to thank my brother from another mother,
the Banzai Wolf Burger. Oh yeah.
Banzai Wolf Burger, for joining me today on the Bottom of the Pit podcast,
oh my God,
where we look to the moon and swap our palettes. Thank you guys, and we will see you on the next one.